Hello friends, and welcome to Fishtale. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so very much. Fishtale is my lovely little survival world where I've given myself the goal of catching anywhere between 300,000 and 600,000 fish in survival Minecraft by hand. I don't know how long that's gonna take, but I will certainly be doing my very best to get that done. However, in today's video, we are going to be doing a whole bunch of lovely terraforming around our big ol' ocean that we've got here. There's not much to see really right now, and I really need something to look at that's not this little island. And to do that, we are going to be needing a whole bunch of terracotta. So we moved 26,000 blocks so that we could find the mainland here, and now I've got to go and see if I can find a Badlands biome somewhere so I can get all the terracotta that I need for the big ol' rocks that I want. However, before we get started on that, I have been very much been wanting to do a whole bunch of fishing, so I think for the next 3 days, we are going to put our head down and we are going to do as much as we possibly can. We're not gonna sleep. We are going to fish. With that being said, let us just jump straight into doing as much fishing as we can. And 2 seconds.
There's a shape drawn on your shoulder. It seems to know what's up. There's a dragon on your shoulder. He seems to keep your soul. The books he's got you about your favorite soul. Hasn't been touched since you moved on. There's a shape drawn on your bedside door. It seems to know what's wrong. There's a dragon on your bedside door. It seems to know it all. If you keep him on, he'll convince you your obsession's gone.
Alright, welcome back from the humongous fishing time lapse. It has now again been officially 3 whole days of some whole bunch of fishing. And unfortunately, I accidentally I have this problem of not looking at my recording software until I'm done and when I'm ready to go save it. So yeah, I lost probably like 8 to 10 hours of fishing footage throughout the whole day yesterday, unfortunately. But that's my fault. I just did not check that my flashback button was going over here. Yeah, it was I accidentally had saved the previous days and did not press start again. So that's very much my own fault, and I am so sorry. So time lapse is it's a little funnier than normal, but that's okay. I do not mind at all. That being said though, however, we are now fully ready to get started on trying to gather up some of the stuff that we need for our lovely terraforming, and also we're gonna have to try and work our way back home wherever direction that might be. It's like, I think it's like this direction somewhere, just like straight this way, because I know I came from somewhere around here, and we are currently 4,892 positive 4,118, so what was that, like 9,000 blocks away technically from where spawn is. So that's great news, which isn't very bad actually. This is I initially went I went 26,000 blocks west and there was nothing, and then I went all the way back and now we are here. Wherever this is, I honestly don't even know what direction this was, but we need to go and we need to try and find ourselves a lovely Badlands biome somewhere. Never mind. Unfortunately, we are not going to be able to find the Badlands biome today. And that is because we are using a mod currently that changes the way that the oceans generate in this world, and they are much bigger than normal and very deep as well, which is fantastic because I do love the water. However, it does also interfere with the continent generation. So this right here, this little continent isn't too big, and there's not any more for maybe like 60,000 blocks or so, and this one does not have a Badlands biome on it, unfortunately, so we're just going to have to make it from the source, unfortunately, which I suppose is good. It's a good learning experience. It means I just have to learn how to do. Oh, this is shaped like a fish. This is a little fish, a little fish-shaped hole in the sand. I love that. Yeah, we've got to learn how to make terracotta on our own, which isn't too difficult, I imagine. I'm pretty sure it's just you put a piece of dripstone underneath the dirt, right? And then it drips for a while, and then it turns into clay, and then you can smelt the clay up. So we've got a few farms that we need to make in today's video. So we are going to be industrializing, and we're going to be doing lots of fish stone, which is just very, very wobbly redstone. So lots of fish stone today, and I'm very excited. In order, we're going to do a big old flower farm because we need to make a whole bunch of cyan terracotta, and we need the cyan dye first. So we're going to do a flower farm for these here cornflowers, and then after that we're going to gather up, I would say, about 2 double chests of dirt that we're going to convert into terracotta eventually. And to do all that smelting, we're going to need some fuel sources. So we're gonna make also a bamboo farm, which I have no idea how to make. I'll figure it out. So flower farm, a whole bunch of dirt, bring it back home. Then we're gonna make a bamboo farm for the fuel, and then after that we're going to connect it up to our little furnace situation. So we're gonna make a whole bunch of furnaces, and we're gonna use the bamboo as our fuel. Then we're gonna smelt up the terracotta, which also requires its own like little dripstone farm thing. And then we're gonna build our rocks. Goodness gracious. This is going to be a very different episode from normal, but with that being said, we are now good to go on getting started on building these lovely farms. So we are going to take a couple of days, and we're just going to jump straight into this. And welcome back. We now officially have created 3 whole farms just over here by where our docks and stuff are. We haven't gone back home yet, so we don't have any bamboo farms or any smelter, furnace, magical, auto-feeding, whatever. I don't understand. I don't understand any of this, okay? I've tried. I don't know what this is. I really wanted to not Google anything, but oh my gosh, I have made a mess. I've made a terrible mess of things. So this is my flower farm. I've got some bone meal, a dispenser for bone meal down here that repoofs the grass whenever it breaks. And I've got these barrels here for where you put your extra stuff that you don't want. And then this all gets turned into bone meal. So I've just been running around here manually collecting up all the cornflowers that we get from here. And it has worked to an extent that I've got plenty of cornflowers now, but it's very bad. And I know I've lost so much. And I've got this entire cactus farm here feeding into it for it to be able to repoof itself, because the flowers that I put into it are not nearly enough to be able to do this properly. But on the bright side, I bet if I sat here on top of this block for a whole night, I probably would get a bunch of cornflowers. So maybe it's a success story. I don't know. And this right here, this was me trying my very, very best to make a little moss farm without any references, any Googling, or understanding of how they work. And it has gone extremely poorly. Let me see, how can I walk you through this? So my first bit was trying to remember how to get stone. That was the big problem. I didn't remember how to get stone. Apparently it's flowing lava falling on top of water. So that was my first hurdle. And then the second one was the timing of pushing the stone upwards and then over at the same time to be able to make it go in like a sheet. So that was rough, and the timings for it for me were very, but it was a very unfortunate process. Let me just show you really quickly what I had to do. So welcome to my timing clock. It's certainly okay. So all the way over there's another big line of repeaters. I don't understand how to do that. I know there's something with like hoppers you could do, but I don't know what it is. And I didn't want to Google anything. So I goofed this up pretty bad, but it's okay. I mean, this does produce moss. I just need a steady supply of bone meal, which was the problem. So it's very much not self-sustainable. Actually, I probably should check how much I've made so far. Should be going into these barrels. Oh, we've got 43 and 32. There we go. It's kind of working, isn't it? Oh, we've got a little something. I feel like I did okay for not really understanding redstone or anything even close to it. This is certainly Fishtone, and I'm so sorry that you had to see this, but I'm doing my best, and I really don't understand. That being said, we've still got a few things that we need to do. So these are our 3 farms. We've got the flower farm, we've got the moss farm, and we have our bone meal farm. All 3 of them, or I guess, sorry, my cactus farm, and all 3 of them are there's something. But it certainly has been lovely. So now we get to go home, and well, I guess we've got to gather up the dirt first. But now we get to go home, and we get to make our bamboo farm and our furnace thing. So we are going to just gather up as much dirt as we can, and we're going to bring it back with us because it is very important for me. I need a lot of dirt. It's like a 1-to-1 conversion rate, right? For each piece of dirt I get, it's going to be 1 piece of terracotta. So we're gonna do quite a bit, and I've got maybe about 12 shovels I can work with. So we're going to do that very quickly, and give me just a moment. And we are now back after 2 whole days of grinding and redstone and, oh my goodness, fishstone. I don't know what I've done, but I certainly tried my best. Oh, also, you made a little dripstone farm. This was interesting. I know this does not look okay at all. But that's okay. It's not supposed to be decorative. This really was just for... it's just for producing. There's no masks here. And I don't really have any plans to. None of this will ever be seen, of course, except for whenever I'm over here trying to collect it all. So what we've got done so far in the past couple of days is unfortunately, I've once again, I don't know redstone, and I don't know anything about it, but I certainly have been trying my very, very best here to make a slightly functional automatic bamboo farm. No, it doesn't look like much. I did cover up the sides so that the bamboo doesn't shoot out. But here's what we've got so far. I know. Okay, don't look at it too much. Okay, it's shy. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to do redstone. I didn't Google anything. I asked Gatuno one thing. So we've got a tiny little bamboo farm here that runs on a timer of redstone repeaters kind of just pulsing in a big circle here. And the pistons break the bamboo, and then it is collected with this lovely little hopper minecart thing. And then all of the bamboo that gets collected runs up through here and onto these hoppers into the back of the crafters. And then once these crafters get filled up, then the crafter here activates. Since we've got a detector rail here, it shoots it over here, and then the block of bamboo gets put into the furnace as our fuel source. So we do have quite a backlog. I have been leaving this running for quite a while, and I did also manually harvest a bunch of bamboo as well, just to make sure I had a good backlog to get started on with all of the dirt and stuff. So this was an entire day's worth of project, and it was a lot. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm so sorry that you had to see this. That being said, though, I don't know how to do any of this stuff, and I'm not doing it anymore, okay? I'm tired of pretending. I don't know redstone. I'm not very good at logic stuff. So I think this is gonna be my preferred method of working for sure. I mean, it always has been to begin with, but this is definitely what makes me the happiest. Doing the very simple tasks that require not much brain power, but lots of time. Those are definitely my favorite ones. Oh, my toes are tiny. My little toes are in the mud. I forgot that you sink down when you're on it. That's cool. I actually very much love being barefoot. If I didn't have to wear shoes every day, I most certainly would not. Alright, we've got a lot of mud that we need to make here. This is very the longest part of the process, but it is absolutely okay with me. And I am sorry that this video was delayed. The redstone took much longer than I was expecting. So today is my last day of recording. Not forever, of course, but for this video. So today we are going to make this mud, and we're going to place all that terracotta. Oh my goodness, wait. we could do we could do that right now. All right, cool. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna get started on the terracotta placing then. We've got some cyan terracotta. We've got our dye ready. All right. Well, give me just a moment, and we will get our big old rocks made. Yep. Oh my goodness gracious. This has been a very, very long 2 days. And while it might have been very long, it also was very fun. So we did finally manage to finish at least the very beginning portion of the big ol' rocks that we've got for our lovely island Night Orchard, which is very exciting. And while we're on the topic of exciting, we've got some rain going here, so I'm just gonna pop into some fishing. So just in case you happen to be new here, we are currently rebuilding the island from a video game called Wavetale, that's called Night Orchard. Right now, all we have is the tugboat Anita. We have a lovely little dock, which we've just made as well, and a whole bunch of the rocks. Now, what I've got left to do is a big old lighthouse just popped right here somewhere. I've still got to figure out the dimensions and the location of everything, but there is a lot to do, including a big old dock that we've got to run from connecting up to this one to all the way over to this side. And then of course we're going to connect it up to the big old landmass, which is going to be around about this location, and I imagine we'll run as far back as that kelp over there. So we've still got quite a bit of of land masses that we've got to build, and big old rocks and stuff. Oh my goodness, this has been quite the episode for me so far. I've done already everything I wanted to do this week, and the video has only been delayed 2 days. That being said, for the remainder of the video, we're going to be taking a little bit of a break from building and all of the brain stuff, and we're just going to be doing some fishing, and we're just going to be talking about stuff, which is also what we're going to be doing in our very next video as well. I've got so many things happening right now in terms of like series stuff. So I know in my last video I mentioned that we have our very next series we were going to do was the one where we catch 1 million fishies by hand in survival Minecraft, and that is still the case. However, it's going to be the next series, because something has come up that is very important to me, and I cannot miss it for anything in the entire world. It's going to be an absolute blast, and that's the only hint that you get. I'm gonna be playing with a bunch of friends, and I'm very, very excited to be there. And I've never made content like this before on my channel. But I'm certainly willing to learn how. I also don't know anything about lore, so I've got to come up with a good story, and I'm very, very, very happy. Oh my goodness. But after that series, then we're gonna do the one where I catch 1 million fish, which is going to be... genuinely, I've never been more excited to spend like 10,000 plus hours in a Minecraft world before. I know exactly what I want to do, or at least in terms of like my starter base and like my general theme, and I've got a whole skin made already. This is gonna be absolutely lovely. 1 million fishies, oh my goodness. And if it makes me happy enough, maybe I could even do 2 million fishies, who knows? And if it makes me really happy, then, well, I guess we're just gonna stay there. I don't mind, but we'll see. A lot of the times I judge the length of a series based on the immediate vibes that I get when I start it, which are very, very important to me. I almost did not continue with this video or with this series. I did feel a little funny at first, but it was because I had already spent a year in the world before and many months in the one after that, so it was hard for me to have to readjust again to a completely new world to me, or at least one that's empty. I do know this is comforting. which is why I feel like I'm still here. I know what I want to do. I have clear goals, and I'm happy to be building what it is I'm building. So that is great news. But depending on how well we feel about the next series, I really keep on trying to say the name on accident. But depending on how we feel about that one, that will determine the length. But for certain, it will be 1 million fishies. I feel like that's a really good goal to have. I feel like that is very achievable for me, since I was able to get 300,000 with building being the main theme. Definitely 1 million is a very, very obtainable goal. I just need to put my head down and build less and fish more, which is actually a lot easier than I was expecting it to be. This series and the one with the Skyblock Kingdoms fish have been a real eye-opener for me. Up until I started playing the Skyblock Kingdoms fish data pack, the most fish I'd ever caught in a single week was like nearly 10,000, and that was a bit of a stretch because of the amount of planning and stuff that I had to do for the week, as well as the actual resource gathering and the block placing and everything. So fishing was kind of on the back burner for most of my series that I've done before this. Which is embarrassing to say, because my whole channel is about fishing. Or at least it is now, if you didn't know that. So yeah, after the Skyblock's Kingdom fish thing, I was able to catch 16,000 fish in 1 week, plus the amount of time it took for me to go and find every single one of those biomes, which was many, many hours of traveling and having to use the chunk base thing for where I couldn't find any if I needed them. So yeah, I definitely think if I did absolutely nothing except for fish in a Minecraft world, which is what I plan to do in the next series and this one sometimes, it is very hard to balance the two, building and fishing, but I'm trying my best. But yeah, I think if I just put my head down and fished, I could catch close to 20,000 fish in a week if I tried really, 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 really hard and slept only 2 hours a night. I definitely could. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, I only got 2 hours of sleep last night because of how much terraforming I had to do. So, priorities are weird. Oh goodness, all to say, this has been an absolutely lovely time. And oh, how many fish did I catch? So we are currently at 51,945 fish. And I don't know. I don't remember what I was at last time, but I imagine this is all right. Yeah, 51,945. What was I at last time? Let me look. Okay, so we only caught 6,000 fish this week, which is very disappointing. So let's put our head down for just a few more hours and see how many we can catch, and hopefully we'll bump the numbers up just a little bit. But I'm so tired. We will see how it goes. So, without further ado, let's just jump straight into doing a whole bunch of fishing for just a couple of hours again. And here we go. And we are now back, officially 1 whole hour later. Unfortunately, I was not able to fish for as long as I would hope. I'm very too tired. I didn't get nearly enough sleep last night. I spent too much time building this big old rock here. So I am gonna go take a nap instead. I am so sorry. But 1 whole hour of fishing, and we are at 52,489. I think that's pretty good for just 1 hour. I did also have to go make dinner, so yeah, this was quite the failure of a fishing time lapse. Too tired, too many things to do, but it's okay. We definitely will be redeeming ourselves in the next video for sure, since, you know, our very next video is going to be just fishing. That's our balance for these videos. We're gonna do one of them that has all the building, and then one of them that has all of the fishing, and maybe some building. Or maybe just like a little tiny little bit, maybe just like placing a couple pieces of wood over for the dock over there. But we will see how that goes, but it's probably just gonna be fishing. I've only got 5 days to make the video as well, so alright, with that, I do believe I have just about, unfortunately, run out of time for the episode today. It is 2 days overdue, and it is now very late, and I'm very, very tired, so I'm gonna go take a nap now, and I thank you so very much for watching these weird videos that I make. I don't know what's keeping everybody here, but oh my goodness, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye bye. Bye bye.